The Calgary area in Canada is famous for its stunning wilderness, spanning over 100,000 square kilometers. Rugged mountains, dense forests, and endless opportunities for adventure. It's a paradise for nature lovers and those who like to hunt. But with that beauty comes danger. Wild animals like bears roam these parts, and they're not just a tourist attraction, they're a real threat. And sometimes even the most seasoned hunter can become the hunted. That's exactly what happened to Don Peters when he faced a fully grown grizzly bear and couldn't survive to tell the tale. So how did this experienced hunter end up in a fatal showdown with one of nature's fiercest predators? Let's find out. The Calgary area in Alberta province is home to one of North America's densest populations of grizzly bears. These massive predators roam the wilderness, with some stretching up to 8 feet tall and weighing over 800 pounds. They're not just a rare sight, they dominate the forests and mountains, especially in the foothills of the Rockies. Grizzlies are powerful, intelligent, and at times, terrifyingly unpredictable. If a person finds themselves in the presence of one grown grizzly and it feels threatened or surprised, there is a high chance the bear will attack. Don Peters was in a probably similar situation back in November 2007. It's late in the year and bears go into hibernation at this time. But grizzlies have a unique hibernation cycle. Unlike black bears, they often delay their hibernation, sometimes staying active well into late November or even December, depending on the weather and food availability. They need to prepare for the big sleep, and before that, they go into a phase called hyperphagia, or a frenzy for eating where they consume up to 20,000 calories a day. They're on the hunt for anything caloric to build up the fat. Since all the fruits and vegetation are mostly gone at this point, the only thing left is all rich protein from animals. This makes them particularly aggressive and bold, as they'll do whatever it takes to pack on the pounds. So was Don just in the wrong place at the wrong time, crossing paths with a grizzly desperate to survive the winter? Or was it something else? 51 years old, Don Peters wasn't new to hunting or the wilderness in any sense. He was a resident of Calgary and an experienced hunter. He had grown up hunting and learning to navigate the Canadian wilderness, frequently venturing into the forest near Sundre, Alberta, a region he knew well and often hunted in. This area had plenty of game like wild sheep, moose, deer, and occasionally buck. And this is what attracted Don. He liked to hunt alone, and because of his extensive knowledge of the area and good aiming skill with his gun, he had no reason to be afraid. And that confidence was the reason why he went solo on that unfortunate hunting trip in the heart of grizzly bears territory. Don knew about the hibernation pattern of the bears, and thinking that this time would be a comparatively quieter time, with only moose around, he embarked on a solo hunting trip in this familiar area. Equipped with his hunting gear, including camouflage attire and firearms, he was prepared for the challenges of the wilderness. He had communication devices and everything that a person who's deciding to be in the wild for a couple of days would need. Don informed his friend before leaving that he would be on the hunt for the next few days, that he would leave on Friday and return on Sunday. Normally when he hunted, he would look out for prey buck, make a kill, slaughter, and dress it in the field and pack it neatly in his truck before heading back home with his fresh meat. And this was his plan this time around too. He reached the area on Friday, paid for a camping spot, and set out into the forest, where he won't be sleeping. The campground manager knew him well and commented that he was a little late this season because it's almost going to be snowy any time now. But the later you go, the safer it would be because the bears would be all out for hibernation, meaning a more easier hunting session. Or at least Don thought so. Like always, Don parked his truck at an outcrop of trees, about 2 miles away from the grounds, and from there he took his equipment and set out on foot. Soon he reached a stream of water, and he knew this would be a perfect spot for a shot because the animals would stop by for a drink, and the water would also help mask his scent. He made a perch and was able to lie down flat, completely camouflaged in the leaves. When you're out on the hunt, a kill isn't always guaranteed, and that's what happened. Don didn't get any good opportunity that afternoon, and the day went uneventful. That night he slept in his truck and decided to try the next day. What he thought was right, because all of the big game came by the river for a drink before the day. But one thing that Don missed is that he wasn't the only one out for a hunt. Some grizzly bears are also hunting for the last few times at this very moment. A female grizzly bear was in fact just a few yards behind Don, and he didn't have the slightest of an idea. Don spotted a nice-looking buck from his perch and fired a shot. Despite being good at targeting, this time he missed. The animal quickly leapt over the stream and ran into the covers out of sight. The gunshot was so loud that it scared away the rest of the animals, and the commotion was enough to gain the attention of the grizzly bear near Don. Don knew that this missed opportunity wasn't going to bring any new potential target near the stream for at least some hours, so he decided to retreat back until the dust settled. He was hungry at this point, so he placed his rifle down on the platform and climbed down to head towards his truck to cook some breakfast. He had left defenseless. The grizzly had now noticed Don walking, and it was like a prey had simply walked into his arms. Plus, Don having his rifle back at the platform was the final nail in the coffin. The grizzly, without any warning, ran at full speed towards Don in attacking mode and launched himself on him. The grizzly bear is a massive predator and it attacks to kill, so Don, without any form of defense, was easy prey for him. The bear's powerful claws and jaws inflicted fatal injuries, leaving him badly mauled, and being alone in the area, nobody could hear him scream in pain. After the attack, the bear dragged his body into the underbrush, concealing him beneath the foliage. It snowed that night and the day after, and when Don failed to return home, his family grew anxious. Their concern deepened as hours turned into days without any word. He wasn't foolish enough to disappear without informing someone, so a search party was swiftly organized, comprising local authorities and volunteers familiar with the terrain. They scoured the area tirelessly, calling out his name, hoping for a response. After 3 grueling days, and getting help from K9s, did the searchers manage to stumble upon a distressing scene. Don's remains, partially consumed, lay hidden under branches and leaves. The bear had covered him, a behavior known as caching, intending to return later to its prey. Tragically, only portions of his body remained beyond recognition. They collected samples of hair from the scene near the body, and that confirmed that it was in fact a grizzly bear responsible for Don's tragic death. The authorities closed the area while the wildlife officers searched the area for the bear. They decided to euthanize the grizzly, but the decision sparked some significant controversy among environmentalists and wildlife advocates. Some people argued that the bear was acting on instinct, possibly defending its territory or cubs, and that killing it was an unjust response. But in the end, they indeed tracked the female grizzly bear with 2 cubs and killed it months later when she came out of hibernation. According to the Alberta wildlife officials, the bear was destroyed after DNA evidence that connected her to Don Peter's death. Plus, they found no fresh kill in the area that would suggest the bear tried to protect its food. The loss of the grizzly is indeed a big loss to the bear population, but sometimes they need to take extreme steps to keep the area safe for other people. Don Peters is today remembered as a brave huntsman who never backed off from danger and lived his life appreciating the wild. Subscribe to our channel for more interesting videos and press the like button if you liked this one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon in another video.